Yeah, thank you. And yeah, it's great to be making my debut. So I've already mentioned the large project. So we have a pipeline of projects within MorGen. We're focused on projects in Europe, all green hydrogen based. The largest one is the 1 gigawatt project in Esbjerg in Denmark. It's a very interesting location because it has access to a lot of offshore wind. But the Danish grid doesn't have a huge demand to the extent that we've seen some recent wind tenders not actually not being fulfilled due to effectively the lack of offtake. So we see it as an ideal location to be able to convert that renewable offshore wind into hydrogen and then transport it a fairly short distance through Denmark into the developing pipelines within Germany. So this project would be able to supply up to 135,000 tons of green hydrogen annually. So it is a big old project. We have bought the land in the location. We've made some major hurdles have been overcome in terms of permitting. We have both environmental and building approvals for this, and we're progressing through towards an FID for that project. Now, these things are big projects, require large amounts of financing. One element that's critical to all of these projects, and I'm sure you've heard it many times, is offtake. We are in latter stages of dealing with the contracts around offtake, and I think that will put that project in a really strong position. Now, at the same time, we need the infrastructure to come along with us. And whilst there's good progress in Germany, in Denmark, late last year, we did see a little bit of delay in terms of when they thought the pipeline would come on, and our project has to run in sync with the pipeline being built in Denmark. That's now looking like it will be online by the end of 2030. That's the commitment from the Danish government. And so that's when we expect our project to be up and operational. There are a couple of other nice elements to it where we're looking at using the heat generated through the electrolysis process within residential heating in the local area. So that improves the overall efficiency of the project. And also we're looking at using purified wastewater within the electrolysis process to make sure we have a sustainable water resource. So whilst there's a huge amount of focus within MorGen Energy on that, and we have a team out in Esbjerg, we need to learn as an organization. So we have focused on the UK as being a very attractive long-term hydrogen market. We think that the regulatory framework that's been set up by the UK government is very strong and leading the way in terms of some of the business models that have been developed. We were successful through the HAR1 scheme with a 20 megawatt project based in West Wales in Milford Haven, which will supply hydrogen to local industry. And we hope that that project will get to FID very soon. And that should be up and operating and supplying green hydrogen early in 2027. So whilst 2027 is a couple of years away in terms of building these scales of tens of millions of pounds project, that's very near. So we're already through into detailed engineering and that project is progressing well. We were also very pleased that we've made the shortlist for HAR2 with a 60 megawatt project up in Teesside. That's at an earlier stage. Clearly, we're one of 27 companies included in the process that will go through shortlisting to be actually down selected as part of HAR2. But it shows that we are very keen on, very set on making the UK one of the key markets for MorGen. And we see the environment that's been set up within the UK as a very positive one. One thing that should state for these projects, whilst in the UK, the way the business model works is the off-takers can essentially access hydrogen at the cost of natural gas. We shouldn't underestimate the risk of change. And I know the UK government put a lot of effort in through things like the Intensive Energy Transformation Fund to help support off-takers moving away from the counterfactual, generally natural gas, to hydrogen. But we also have been running trials with some off-takers to de-risk that change that they have to make and allow us to contract with them for the long term. And some of these HAR1 projects will have 15-year contracts.